Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor and best-selling author, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I want to answer one of your questions, and that is, what is the first investment that I would recommend to a beginner? Now, this question is actually really easy, and the answer is all of them. I would recommend all of them. Now, what do I mean by all of them? I mean an index fund. Something like ticker symbol ITOT or ticker symbol VTI. I repeat, I would not invest in both. Pick one of those. Index funds invest in, or these two index funds specifically, invest in the entire stock market. All of it. All US stocks are in both of those funds, which is why you don't need both. You just need to pick one. Which one? Flip a coin. It honestly does not matter. We've already done videos where you'll see that the performance are nearly identical. Okay, the fees are extremely low. Now, why would I recommend that to a beginner? Is because one, it takes out the complexity and it takes out the guessing game. Should I get this ETF? Should I get this stock? Should I sell? Should I buy? What should I do? An index fund is something you can put money into and continue putting money into and do absolutely nothing. If you do nothing else in your investing life but get you a good index fund like one of those two and consistently put money in, you can actually retire a millionaire. Yes, you can actually do that because you're going to get anywhere between 7 to 10%. If you're adding money and reinvesting those dividends, which some apps automatically do, you're going to be fine. We know this going all the way back to the 1950s. We know that even going beyond then. We know that index funds are again inexpensive and they have recovered even when we see these financial crises like 2008, even like last year, and even now, even though things are a little rough, again, you don't have to worry about it because you are going to have the best stocks, period, because you have all the stocks, and that is the beauty of having an index fund. It already exposes you and gives you ownership in companies like Apple and Netflix and Google and all the hot stocks that everybody's talking about. You're going to have it anyway. You are going to have it anyway if you own a good index fund like the two that I mentioned. Are there other index funds that are out there? Absolutely. There are other index funds out there. I'm not going to mention them because then you'll get confused and then you're going to have 5 index funds that essentially do the same thing. Okay, so the reason why I mentioned those two, some are available on some apps and some are not. So again, flip a coin, pick which one and go with it. I have ITOT. That is in my main IRA account. So that's where that one is. Been there for years. I don't think I have any fees on that one because it's through I think it's through Fidelity and they have 0 fees there. I gotta go double check. But in either case, that's where the majority of my money is. Now, why would I decide to still own individual stocks? Because there is a risk versus reward factor in that. Let's take an Apple, because we all know Apple, or even a Microsoft, has done better than the stock market. That's a fact. As a fact, for several years now, if I put all my money in Apple or all of my money in Netflix or even Google, I would have blown the overall stock market out of the water. However, I take on more risk there and I don't want to push all of my chips on one company because guess what? If iPhone sales aren't what they're supposed to be, that stock dips, right? I don't want to take that type of risk. So to do that, I put the majority of my money in index funds and I sit back. And if you are a new investor, if this is your first time investing, I'm telling you right now, that is your core. That is your core. I think as someone who has managed $140 billion, 2 best-selling books, and a new award for best investing content, I think that's the best place for you to be. Warren Buffett agrees with me. Any certified financial planner would also agree with me. It is a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. I think that everybody, from my opinion and my experience, everybody should have some money inside of an index fund. Now, how much money you put in there, that's up to you. That's up to your goals. You make that decision for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that the majority of my money is there, and the majority of millionaires also have their money there too. How do we know this? We know, I think it was 34 to 38%. I'll just say above 30% to be exact. Above 30% of millionaires have their money concentrated in their 401ks. What type of investments are in 401ks? Index funds are. End of story. End of story there. So again, one of the best investments you can have is a no-brainer. Is one of the things I do not have to worry about selling at all. You will never see me sell an index fund for any reason. So you might see me sell y'all saw me sell T-Mobile and Nike. Depending on how forward goes, we'll see what happens there in December, whether I keep it for a year or not. Y'all saw me sell Domino's. I'll switch in and out of companies, you know, twice a year at most. But that index fund, it's gonna stay there, and it ain't going nowhere. Okay, so that is what I would consider if you are in. That's the first thing I would consider for a new investor. Okay, so if you're new, give your experience honestly. But if you're new and you don't know what else to do, go on and get you the whole thing. Don't pick a team, pick the league. Okay, don't pick a state, pick the country. You got the whole thing. I don't have to guess which one is best. I don't have to worry about when to sell. Put your money in there, leave it alone, and keep adding money to it. That is the most well-known and successful strategy to financial freedom, period. Penny stocks don't work consistently. Picking the hottest companies don't work consistently. You can ask Tesla. You can ask Cathie Woods. It ain't working, right? It worked last year. It was amazing last year and the year before. This year, not so much. Not so much. But I know an index fund. I know what an index fund can do. I know it's boring. You can do other stuff later. But that is your core. That is your foundation. You do that first. You keep doing that. And then when you're ready, you can try out the fancy stuff when you've got everything else taken care of. So that is my first recommendation for a new investor. All right, now, if you have other questions that you want me to answer in an animated way and something that's entertaining, feel free to write that in the comments below. YouTube, public, y'all know how to get in touch with me. Ask a question, you will get a video with your answer. Also, make sure that you check out my email list. There's a lot of stuff going on about regulatory stuff. We did a video on that yesterday. I will make sure that that I keep you up to date. So in case you miss a video, even though you should be subscribed, so you don't miss a video. But in case you do, about once a week or so, I send out a reminder saying, hey, look, here's the most important thing you need to know about the market so you are more informed. I believe the more informed investor you are, the better off you are in terms of like not making a mistake and not reacting emotionally. When you understand what's going on, you're going to be okay. For example, we don't fix this spending bill thing by this Thursday, there's going to be a government shutdown. There's a government shutdown, markets are going to be rough. But hey, I know that, right? Hope it won't happen, but I know that. I also know, because we are informed and we talk about this stuff all the time, that if we don't raise the debt ceiling by October 18th, things going to get real rough. Okay? I know that, so I'm preparing my reactions right now. What should you do as an investor? In terms of the October 18th deadline, that's something that is still evolving. Okay? We have never had this situation happen before. We've had a threat of a debt ceiling thing. It's what people call political football, and we've never not raised it. We hope and pray this is not the first time. So we're still waiting on more information on that one. We know what to do in the government shutdown. Stay tight, keep your savings together if you are a federal employee specifically, but also if you're depending on federal funds, you want to keep your savings together, which is why it's always important to have that emergency savings first before you start investing. This is one of those instances why that is important, because you don't want to have to pull from your investments to pay for emergency expenses first, because one, you could get taxed, two, you could get a penalty if you're pulling from retirement funds, and things start to spiral. But that's a video for another day. Now, that is it for me. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.